me loose. Go on patrol. Money in my pocket and I'm all up in the zone line.
Now, before anyone says anything, you can listen to Cantor in How to Train Your Dragon. It's probably going to end just like this, just a bit more differently. So, How to Train Your Dragon is probably one of the verses that's really not talked about, and it's definitely going to be here a lot more than you guys think on my channel here, because these guys have some incredible looking dragons that could pretty much destroy continents, and even cause like sea quakes. They're able to shake the entire able to sever tectonic plates, able to destroy entire islands, cause volcanic eruptions just by eating a certain area. It's absolutely ridiculous how strong this verse is here. I think if you had to give it a high end here, Continental at max here. It's not competing with the Monsterverse anytime soon here because of the AP and the type of firepower it's bringing, plus the durability status here. But it is a very good verse here. And a lot of things about this verse is pretty much it's just natural in general. You have dragons that, pretty much eat, the corpses or the dying dragons. And then you, like, the Grim Gnashers. Then you have the Death Song, a dragon that lures its prey in and just devours, alright? And just devours these dragons after trapping them in, like, an amber substance, right? Then you have, the Death Grippers, which are introduced as, well, again, dragons that hunt and eat dragons. I mean, it's never stated how they kill their prey. Maybe because they have venom, so maybe they're able to bite their prey, let it run away, and then, they'll just follow right after. Kind of a dragon I wish they had utilized a bit more in the series. But there's never been other creatures besides that. There's no wolves, right? There's never been something like dire wolves or, werewolf type dragons. Sure, they had the lichen wing or the legend of it, but it was never real. Should have been real. I actually would love to see a werewolf type dragon. And then there's no vampiric type dragons. No dragons that'll drink the blood. Sure, they have leeches and giant leeches, which will turn some dragons into a snack here. I think minus the Typhoon who actually loves to eat eels here. But I want to talk about Bagorah. Something who's not dragon related, and someone who's someone who's definitely able to turn this verse into a whole nightmare. Okay, so honestly, this is really what if Bagorah was in How to Train Your Dragon, and honestly, I think it's because this story could pretty much end on a darker note for the franchise as a whole here, other than some of the other characters here. So let's begin. If Bagorah was in the verse, what would be his key abilities here? Now, Bagorah possesses super hearing. He's able to hear all the way in outer space. And considering this makes him an alien here, this means he wouldn't be from this world, meaning he's basically a disturbance to the natural order of things. I do believe as he shows up in the How to Train Your Dragon verse, a lot of things could manifest into, well, chaos. For starters, I do believe there would have been a lot more Title or Titan class dragons. There probably would have been more Titan wings as a result of him appearing. Now, Titan wings are the pinnacle of evolution in that said species. Much bigger, much stronger, much more durable, okay, than the average species. This is shown when, Hook Fang and the monstrous nightmare, or the Titan Wing monstrous nightmare was shown, right? There's also Titan Wing Bewilderbeast. Those are confirmed. There's even a Titan Wing Red Death, which is canon. And that's absolutely ridiculous. I can't even imagine something, that big. Including the Bewilderbeast. The Bewilderbeast also has its own Titan Wing variation, which is actually pretty scary in my opinion. But needless to say here, I think if Bagorah shows up, evolutions will have to happen due to the fact that they have a creature much more capable of hunting them, all the time. Bagorah is in a constant feud of hunger in the verse here. Even in the Godzilla verse, he was just shown to be unnaturally aggressive and hyper aggressive and constantly hungry. So Bagorah really didn't discriminate about what he ate, but he definitely wanted flesh, as when he bit metal, he kind of puked it right back up like it was nothing, showing the fact that, again, he's very picky about what he eats here. So we have to give that, it's just desserts in saying that he's very selective about what he eats. And in a verse filled with, enough, not a lot of metal like humanity, and with less hiding places for humans and dragons as a whole, it's very possible that a lot of creatures would have been devoured at this time here. There might even be more screaming deaths here, and possibly you would have, dragons adapting in different ways here. You'll even see, probably see dragons that'll, move in groups that wouldn't normally do. You'll probably see shellfires traveling as a herd. You'll see, sea shockers and scoldrons possibly traveling with, thunder drums at their full size, and thunder drums are about the size of whales when they get fully grown. So they're kind of like the humpback whales of the ocean, and they're like the whales on land. But you guys get the point, right? Yeah, they're basically the whales of How to Train Your Dragon when they're fully grown. Now, there's a couple things here. There's a couple things we could do to set up Hiccup and the others meeting them, or we could pretty much say it's a beast that really rarely is seen in times here. Let's say they discover the Book of Dragons, or pretty much a torn out page of the Book of Dragons, and this was done by, one of the previous Viking leaders before Stoic came to power. This is when they travel to this mysterious dark island, and they see dragon, corpses. Some of them are freshly eaten. You see it gets dark. All right, it's a lot darker than you expected. You see, it's a bigger dragon graveyard than Vanaheim itself here. This is when they would probably see a bewildered beast, maybe someone injured, maybe halfway there it's been retreating to other places, and then it finally ends up here for its last stand. They would note that it's injured and that the bewildered beast seems to be, in a panicked, stricken type of state here. This is when I definitely see Bagorah coming down and pouncing on the bewildered beast with, utmost intensity. And this is when everyone gets scared, they get in shock, and I do believe they would probably even leave the island immediately due to the sheer size and the shock-scare factor of Bagorah. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah. Bagorah would pretty much make quick work of the bewildered beast once he actually gets his jaws around it. Now you might say, isn't Bagorah like smaller than bewildered beast? Again, I'm going by verse laws here. So Bagorah would actually possibly be slightly bigger than the bewildered beast, considering he would be a natural predator to these dragons. It would be a pretty much like Nergigante compared to elder dragons. Even though he's smaller than Zoromagdaros, he's still able to hunt down and even kill Zoromagdaros. All right, albeit he was pushing the dragon to the Elder's Recess in order to detonate the for him to die and detonate, killing Xeno'jiiva. Then I believe Nergigante would have definitely fed on the corpse at that time to make sure Xeno'jiiva doesn't try to get back to life or whatever, or finished off the weakened Xeno'jiiva. Okay? So either way, it's pretty much the same way. It's a dragon that would have hunted beasts, but in this case, it's an alien that came for pretty much a variable food source here. So after dealing with the bewildered beast, there's a couple things that could happen here. One, it does follow the Dragon Riders, and if it follows the Dragon Riders to Berk, this would basically be the end of the series as a whole. All right, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The Bagorah is just way too much. It's stronger, it's faster, and it's more durable. Concerning that the fastest of the dragons are capable of dodging lightning, which is around 1/3 the speed of light. Even a lightning strike moves at 270,000 miles per hour. That is pretty much half of the speed of light here. And honestly, I don't really see Berk lasting here. Berk's best move is to pretty much get all their supplies and dip before Bagorah pretty much gets there. Now let's say Bagorah gets distracted, or he's so picky in fact that he's not going to pick on smaller dragons. Okay, that leaves him with a problem. All right, this means that bigger dragons are going to be getting targeted, and these bigger dragons can live near Burke. Now, if we play the Rise of Burke game here, there's such things as the Green Death living in Burke, the Forever Wing that lives in Burke, and then there's the Purple Death that lives really pretty close to Burke here. This does mean that these fights could cause, extra damage here. He could also disturb, again, he could be a disturbance to balance here, and could set Forever Wings on, pretty much running around the archipelago. They could be running around various areas, and maybe they have to defend their own Forever Wing or whatever on Burke here, because he's a natural occurrence here. And if he moves out, it could possibly destabilize the island or whatever. Then the fact that they really just don't have anything to stop Bagorah, and their best bet will probably be to seal him. Maybe just try to bury him in a tomb or whatever. Maybe get all the dragons to gang up on him, and possibly, seal him within a prison of sorts. Have like a multiple amounts of bewildered beasts, freeze him, and then, they'll transport him to the Arctic, and then just let the iceberg sink here. So honestly, Bagorah really doesn't have an honest way to be taken down here. This plus his sonic screech would disrupt the senses of other dragons. Considering the Screaming Death actually was able to do that, and the Bagorah is way above the Screaming Death here. Okay, it is just vastly superior. Okay, it's way more powerful here. And honestly, I think its appetite would definitely be the end of the verse here, because he would be targeting dragons left and right. Targeting these big alpha class dragons means these other dragons are pretty much left unchecked here. Alright? They don't have any leaders to follow, meaning Burke might get overran. And then Burke might become viewed as a food source. We saw How to Train Your Dragon 2, where, How to Train Your Dragon 3, The Hidden World, where despite all the dragons they had, despite all the firepower they really had at their disposal, which is actually pretty stupid in my opinion. Might make a video on that later or sometime. But yeah. In my opinion, I really just don't see it. I really don't see them lasting with Bagorah in the verse at all. Bagorah might leave every 1,000 years, comes every 1,000 years to, eat or feast upon, Earth, because it has just such a valuable food source to him. I mean, he could come, maybe snatch a wildebeest, go back to its usual nesting ground. And it's very possible that if Bagorah reproduces asexually, he could leave, eggs or maybe live offspring on the planet that will eventually grow up to eat these other dragons. This does mean that if it's possible, Hiccup could train a baby Bagorah and pretty much have it grow up to basically be this type of protector in a way, and then that Bagorah could become the alpha to the others, and then it's just you guys get it. It's just a whole lot of speculation here based on the verse. And honestly, I'm not even sure if some of these dragons reproduce asexually. Maybe the Eruptodon did. I didn't see more than one Eruptodon on the island, and it just, laid an egg all of a sudden. So maybe, maybe because of that, I would have to say it's very possible they could reproduce asexually here. But honestly, yeah, like I said here, this verse will be done. There's no what if he turns human like you did with Encalagon? There's really none of that, because Encalagon is a magical type dragon. You can make a lot of story with that, because simply based on the fact that he's magic, and just like other Monster Hunter monsters, there will be no turning human. All right. So honestly, there's no taming, Bagorah, unless, it has offspring that the dragon riders can get a hold of. And honestly, if Bagorah does have offspring, they will become pretty much the dominant predators of this verse. All right, there's nothing that's gonna stop them. No, purple death, no bewilder beast, no forever wing, no great death. You're gonna need a Jesus type dragon just to get rid of Bagorah. Like you're gonna need a Godzilla type of power level just to get rid of Bagorah in general. Sorry about that. So honestly, yeah, Bagorah pretty much just messes it up, messes it all the way up. I mean, he's just such a voracious predator that he could basically eat. He might eradicate the planet, and their best bet is to hide underground where he cannot detect him. All right, probably hide in some area where he used to abduct dragons, and he no longer finds that area of interest anymore. They would basically have to live underground, probably have civilizations built in preparation for when he returns, and just it has to get passed on from generation to generation due to just how much of a menace Bagorah will be, and just how much danger he'll be to everyone, even the dragons. Even the hidden world would be in trouble. Okay, they'll probably find that eventually, and then feed on the dragons in there. But anyway, you guys, let me know what you guys think here. Did you like this? Did you not like this? Please comment down below, like and subscribe, and share with your friends. This is Legendary Ghidorah, and I'll see you guys later for another video. Peace.